Today, we're going to talk about something we've all felt, but maybe never really thought about. That weird, sudden shiver that makes your skin prickle and your hairs stand right up on end.
You know the feeling, right? It happens when you hear that one perfect note in a song, or during a super tense moment in a movie, or even just when a cold breeze hits you. So what is actually going on inside our bodies when that happens?
Well, the answer is this amazing involuntary reflex that we've inherited from our ancient ancestors. Yep, we're talking about goosebumps. And trust me, the story behind them is way cooler than you might think.
Alright, so here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with what a goosebump actually is on a microscopic level. Then we'll jump back in time to see why our ancestors even needed them. After that, we'll connect the dots to why we still get them today. And finally, we'll figure out what it all means.
Okay, first things first. To really get what goosebumps are all about, we have to zoom way in and look at the tiny machinery working just beneath your skin.
Now, the official scientific name for this is piloerection. I know, it sounds super complicated, but it's actually just a fancy way of saying your hairs are standing up because a tiny muscle is flexing. That's it.
And here is the star of the show. See, at the base of every single hair on your body, there's this minuscule muscle. It's called the erector pili. This little guy is the engine that drives every single goosebump you've ever had.
So the process is pretty simple. It's a chain reaction. First, your nervous system fires off an automatic signal. That signal tells the erector pili muscle to contract, to tighten up. This pulls the hair straight up, and in the process, it creates that little bump you see on your skin. All of this happens in a flash, completely without you thinking about it.
But that brings up a good question. Why do our bodies even have this system? Well, the answer is an echo from our much hairier past, back when goosebumps were actually a secret weapon for survival.
For our ancient ancestors, this reflex did two really important things. First, when it got cold, making their hair stand on end trapped a layer of air against their skin. It was like wearing a natural, invisible, puffy jacket, instant insulation. And second, if they were faced with a predator, fluffing up their fur made them look bigger, scarier, more intimidating. You know, think about how a cat gets all puffed up when it's spooked. Same idea.
So back then, goosebumps were a critical survival tool. But for us modern humans, well, we just don't have enough body hair for it to make any real difference. The wiring is all still there in our bodies, but the original job it was designed for, that's basically gone. It's like a ghost in the machine. So that brings us to today. If goosebumps don't really keep us warm or scare anyone off anymore, why do we still get them? Why does a song or a movie give us the chills? Turns out, it all comes back to that same ancient wiring.
It's all about our fight or flight response.
This is a super old automatic system built into our brains. And here's the thing, it doesn't know the difference between a real physical threat like a saber-toothed tiger and a modern emotional trigger like a powerful chord progression. To your brain, a strong stimulus is a strong stimulus. It just reacts. And you can see this in all the different things that give us goosebumps now. The original trigger, being cold, is definitely still on the list. But now it's joined by all these intense emotional experiences. You know, the fear you get from a horror movie, that feeling of awe when you see something incredible, or even just a powerful memory popping into your head.
So here's what's happening chemically. When you feel a really strong emotion, the emotional center of your brain, the limbic system, basically hits a button that floods your body with adrenaline. That adrenaline rush is the exact same chemical signal that told our ancestors, hey, get ready for danger. And that same signal triggers those little erector pili muscles to contract.
This is especially true with music. When scientists look at people's brains while they're getting the chills from a song, they see tons of activity in the parts of the brain linked to reward, emotion, and anticipation. Your brain is literally getting excited for that big emotional peak in the song. It releases a bunch of feel-good chemicals and adrenaline, and boom, goosebumps. It's a physical reaction to emotional pleasure.
So let's bring this all together. What should we make of this biological ghost, this reflex that stuck around for thousands of years after its original job was done? You can see the shift pretty clearly here. For our ancient, furry ancestors, goosebumps were a practical tool for survival, staying warm and looking tough. But for us, they've basically evolved into a physical indicator that we're feeling something really strongly.
So, the next time your hair stands on end while you're listening to music or watching a beautiful sunset, you'll know exactly what's going on. It's just your body's ancient survival wiring firing up to say, hey, pay attention, this moment is powerful. It's a direct physical link to your emotions.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Goosebumps are this clear, physical reminder that deep down, parts of our ancient past are still very much alive inside of us. So what other instincts or reflexes do we have that are just echoes of a life we left behind long ago?